Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a lace front wig install. My client had already came in, washed and blow dried out, so all I had to do was braid her down. And I'm doing the same braid down pattern that I do for all of my wigs. I just braid straight around the back, and then I take all the other sections and braid them straight down and connect them. If you want a more in-depth tutorial, you can go watch my last video because I broke it down step by step. But for this one, we're just going to get right into the wig install, and I just gave y'all like a little brief tutorial of that part just so you can see it. But if you want like an in-depth description of how I did it, then go back to the last video and check that one out. So after I finished braiding her down, I went ahead and oiled her scalp with the envy oil and rubbed it all in and proceeded to slick her edges in the back of her head down and then the edges in the front down, just to make sure that there was nothing sticking up when I put the cap on. And then also I slick them down, or slick them upward in the back rather, to make sure that there's like no B2Bs hanging out the back, because you don't want nobody clocking your wig in the back. Either way it go, after I smooth all the gel into her head, I go ahead and apply the cap, cut the ear holes out, and then go ahead and put my bow hold around the perimeter of her hairline and smooth it in to just make sure that the cap gets dry and secured before I do the wig install. Once I finish smoothing the bow hold out, I go ahead with my makeup brush and apply a little darker makeup foundation to the cap just to make it a little bit darker. And then I go ahead with my shears and cut off the excess cap around her hairline where the excess meets the glue. And once I cut that off, I go ahead and do the other side, and I'll just press the cap in just to make sure that the cap sticks to the glue. After I cut off the rest of the cap, I'm going to go ahead and cleanse off her forehead, and then I'm going to use my Got To Be spray as an extra layer of protection on her hairline. And after that, I'm going to apply 3 layers of glue and smooth those out. Once I smooth the final layer out, I'm going to go ahead and start to apply the wig. And this is a wig. I think she got this wig from Amazon, and this is what the lace looks like. And I'm just going to place it on her head and pull it slightly above where I put the glue at. And I always do that just to make sure that all the glue is covered, because I'd rather add more glue because you can't add more lace. And I don't want any of the glue exposed because it'll get like dark and gummy looking, and I don't want like glue residue all around her hairline. So after I get it in place, I go ahead and press it in. Try your best not to press the wig all the way in until you have it exactly where you want to sit it at. So after I have it lined up the way I want it, I went ahead and I pressed it in a little bit with my hand and with my comb. And then my client wants baby hair today, so I'm just parting out the little bit of baby hair that she wants. Once I finish parting out the baby hair, I go right behind the baby hair with my Got To Be spray, and I spray the hair. And that just helps me slick it back so that whenever I put the band around it, none of the hair gets caught on the lace, or I don't accidentally put too much of the hair from the back of the wig inside the baby hair. So I just use my bow hold, I use my got to be spray and then my spray it on the hair, and then I use my comb to push it back. And then if you see any lifting in your lace while you're doing that, just go ahead with your comb in your fingers and just mold it back in. And after I finish that, I'm just going to go ahead and put the wig band around her head just so that it's secure and I can do the styling process without any lifting. Once I have my cap down to where I want her to be, I have my client hold it down while I snap in the clips in the back of her wig, and then I just put the wig band down and proceed to do a little bit of blow drying. I like to try to blow dry my wigs a little straighter whenever I'm doing curls. I don't usually get it too bone straight because I still like a little texture in the hair, but I go ahead and blow dry it, and then I start parting out the wig where I want it to be parted, or where my client wants it to be parted at. Either way it go, she wanted the middle part, so I went ahead and I parted like a little free part, and then I took my foam to clean the part up a little bit and make sure it was straight down the middle. And then after I used my foam and got the part right, I went ahead with a lot more foam just to mold the wig down to make it more flatter, and so that I don't have to do as much as I normally would with the hot comb, because she is kind of sensitive to the scalp. I still hot combed it a lot because I like my wigs super flat, but this just minimizes it because sometimes I do get carried away with the hot comb because I don't even play with my clients like that. We're going to have some flat wigs around here. After I finish molding her hair down, I just use a extra wig cap, and I have my client help me put it down. And then after I put the wig cap on, I just sit them under the dryer for like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long it takes for it to dry. After she's from under the dryer, I hit it with a little bit of the got to be spray, and then I comb through it, and then I start to hot comb the wig. And I don't know if you guys watched my other video, but I had said that the other video was a lace closure install. This one is a frontal. So throughout the frontal process, I go through and I hot comb section by section for the entire frontal just to make sure that it's super flat. So I part small sections, I hit it with the got to be spray a little bit, and then I just take my hot comb and flatten it out even more. So throughout the whole wig install, I'll probably do some curls. I'm gonna go back and hot comb it. If I cut, I'm gonna go back and hot comb it. Like, I literally hot comb through it 1,000 times just to make sure that it's super duper flat. Now that I have it flattened out, I'm going to go ahead with my Bio Silk, and I'm just add a little bit in the palm of my hand. I try to show y'all, but it didn't even show up on camera, but I literally add like a little dot of it and slick it through. A little really goes a long way because I don't like my wigs to be greasy or oily looking. But then after that, I go ahead and I clip one half of the hair out the way, and then I start to curl. I realized afterwards that my arm was in the way on this part, so I'm not really going to explain it too much right now. All I'm going to say is I always curl away from the face, and I'm pulling the curls out a little bit because I don't want super big body curls right now. I just want like a soft curl today. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to curl it up away from the face, and then I'm going to talk y'all through it more in depth when I get to the other side. So now that I'm on the other side, I can tell you guys how I do it. So basically, I'm just going to clamp the hair in between the curling irons, and then I'm going to just wrap it around the curler. So I'm not really um, bringing it all the way through like I would normally do. I'm just taking it and wrapping it around, kind of like how you would wine curl. And I'm going to do that curling to the back, and I'm going to do the same process all the way through until I finish. Once you finish curling, your curl should look something like this. It's just like a little spiral curl. It's not too much body because I just wanted to go with a softer look. And like I said earlier, I go back through after almost everything and I make sure I hot comb again. Now I'm going to start doing the baby hair. So I went ahead and I took the band off, and then I clipped the hair out the way, the curl part, because I don't want it to get wet, or I don't want any foam or extra product on it. So I just clipped it out of my way, and then I cut my baby hairs down a little bit because I didn't want them so big. And after that, I'm going to take my baby flat irons and just curl them out the way. I curl the top two pieces to the back, and I curl the sideburns. I'm sorry, I don't know why I was catching a brain fart. I curl the sideburns down. So the top two pieces, I curl them up because it's easier for me to swoop. Like, some people curl theirs down, some people curl them up. It really just depends on what's easier for you for the look that you're going for. I've tried them both ways. Both ways literally work, but this is just the way I like to do it for how I like my baby hair to sit. So I'm just taking my little comb, and the comb that I'm using is literally just a red tail comb that I broke the tail off of. I didn't break it off on purpose. It literally just came out, and I just didn't go get a new comb. But either way it goes, so I'll take my fingers and my comb, and I use a combination of both, and I just go through and I swoop them around until they get to a position that I like, or that I think my client will like. Mainly that I like, because, I know best. No, I'm just playing. But I swoop them around in a way that my client will like, because everybody likes their baby hairs different. So I go ahead and I do that. And please don't think you just gonna do baby hairs in 2 seconds. It takes a while to just work with the hair, and you're gonna keep combing it. You might mess it up and have to start over, but just swoop it around enough until you get it into a position that you like and that you're comfortable with. Once I finish with one side, I'm just going to go in and do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to just keep swooping it around until I get it how I want it to look. And I try my best to make them as symmetrical as possible. Of course, it's impossible to get them perfectly alike, but I try to make them as symmetrical as possible. And I just swoop them around until I get it to that desired look. If you get to a point to where you're swooping it around and you feel like they're too big, or it's not laying the way you want, you can always just take your shears and snip the little pieces off that you don't like, just like I did right here, and just keep going with the swoops. Once I have my baby hair exactly where I want them to be, I'll let them dry a little. Well, I took the clips down, and they're just going to air dry a little bit. I don't use too much product or I didn't use this too much product this time. So um, they pretty much get dry after you, as soon as you finish them, pretty much. And then of course, like I said, I go through and I hot comb multiple times just to make sure it's flat. And I'm pretty sure my client is like, if you hot comb my hair one more damn time, but do you want your wig flat or not, boo? Let's get into it. Either way it go, I'm just gonna go through, and then after I finish hot combing for the 1,000th time, I'm going to clean her part up. Next, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean her part up. I put some black hair dye on a napkin, and I just went ahead and took my tint brush and I brushed it into her parting area. And I just did that to make sure that the part was super clean and super neat. And this works good too if you accidentally over bleach the knots a little bit and you don't want a super raw part. I just go in with my black hair dye, brush it in, and then I take my blow dryer and I just blow dry it until it's dry. After that, I'm going to melt the lace in using using my got to be spray, spraying the front of the lace, and then I'm taking my what am I saying? I'm taking my blow dryer and my comb, and I'm just pressing the lace in to make sure it's completely melted in her scalp. And after that, you are pretty much done. All I'm doing now is I'm going to go ahead with my wide tooth comb and comb out the curls, because of course I said we were doing like a soft curl look. I didn't want anything too heavy on her. We went ahead and we combed them out, and then after that we're just gonna go to the front of the shop in front of the Royal Envy logo, and we're gonna take a couple of videos and call it a day. So this is the final result. Please let me know in the comments what you think. And make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see y'all back next week for the next video. Bye.